Alright, time
What?
to end this drama.
Well, isn't it so sad that we're gonna have to say goodbye to this Halo killer that Ubisoft so graciously gave to us?
The answer you're looking for, Jova, is no.
So.
Also, I get you watch everything in first person, but why do I need to stare at these ugly textures of a Jeep?
Also, guys, are we in the Never Zone? Why is the sky all white like that?
It's the fucking bloom effect.
Again, like I said, when you make Deadly Premonition look good graphically, you've got problems.
Like, this isn't even a launch console.
Not just that, I'm gonna say it on a gameplay perspective. You know, Deadly Premonition is far more entertaining.
Yep.
Yeah. At least you can do more in that game.
Excuse me, game, I'm not hearing anything. Anyway, what you're supposed to do is to create an entrance of, for the land, for your Jeep, in order for your Jeep to actually enter the land carrier. This initial sequence is engaging enough, but it goes on for a bit long. Yes, you turn your volume down. And once again, since you're using a chain gun, this means that my controller is having a fucking seizure with the vibration.
Jesus. What are we even fighting? It looks like it's a battleship on wheels.
It's a land carrier. I mentioned in the previous part of the Jova, it's the fact that it's clear that the climax was supposed to be on a carrier on the sea, and you were supposed to actually board it with mini ships on your own, but for some reason they had to reconvert into this land carrier, which is essentially kind of like a carrier that goes on water, but instead on top of this massive tank, which is a cool concept, a cool idea, a concept, but it's just wasted.
I know, right? I mean, it is a pretty interesting idea, but they barely do anything with it. I mean, this has technically been our base since the first part, but we're only really figuring out now that it was actually a land carrier.
Yeah.
Like, for all we knew, it was just a battleship out at sea or in the sky.
Or just a stationary base.
T.O. question.
Yes, sir.
How much did this game cost you?
Oh, this $5 or something. I got it in one of the deals. Yeah, I mentioned it's one of the previous parts. Again, I got it as one of the deals at CAX, so I was literally just morbidly curious.
It did. Imagine paying full price for this game back
Again, I really feel sorry for the people who actually paid $60 for this.
Yeah, and it was sadly at a time where YouTube still wasn't to the point where it was hosting a lot of game reviewers, so...
Okay, I can tell you the experience, but I think I mentioned in one of the previous parts, but... like I mentioned, I was reading a lot of video game magazines at the time, and they did mention something about this game, but I can't forget for the life of me what they say specifically. The thing I remember at the time was that me and my friend were like, oh, it's a shooter, we don't really care about those, so... We just kept it for principle alone.
Wasn't really my type of game at the time anyway, and if I wasn't any shooter at the time, it was more so Halo. But since I didn't own an Xbox...
So I was running on the assumption that the shooters did not really had a particularly engaging plot to begin with, but which, again, it turned out kind of to be the case here, but not really. Like, for as much flack as the Call of Duty franchise deserves, rightfully deserves, the plots that it has are probably the least of their problems.
Yeah.
Most of the times the plot are usually the highlights, especially there are a couple of Call of Duty fans that are very vocal about the fact that the plots are sometimes the single player plots are the highlight.
I think that's the frustrating thing about Call of Duty. It does have redeeming qualities, but because of the company in charge of it, it's mainly known for the lesser stuff because that's what gets emphasized, sometimes even to the detriment of the game itself.
Also, I can't see shit. Oh, okay, finally.
Jesus Christ, the lighting! Again, did nobody take a simple lighting class here? Heck, you shouldn't even need a class to know that this lighting is crap.
There we go.
Like, I know that obviously stuff like Unreal Engine 4 hadn't been created yet, but surely lighting engines have better capabilities. Oh wait, I know that for sure because there are plenty of games this generation which knew how to light properly. I mean, granted, it was kind of a common problem in the 7th generation of gaming that oftentimes lighting problems really
And
hit
remember,
their zenith
Jova, the
there.
PS3 was really a hard beast to work on.
God, again, making this a PS3 exclusive at the time was probably not a good idea.
Again, considering this was supposed to be multi-plant, I do wonder if they designed with the PS3 in mind to begin with, or it was just the PC version that they had to hastily port on this console. Anyway, we're finally...
Wait, where did you go? Oh, there it
there
is.
in the background. Finally, we're on board, so that means actually the game can actually proceed normally and just, simple kicking action. Sure. Basically, now you're supposed to reach particular doors that will help you open an elevator that allow you to go on the upper floors. The problem is that, again, since you dismantled the drug, the nectar distributing operation in the observatory, the soldiers that you fight here are, basically crazy, and occasionally you will fight the Black Ops soldiers who are instead much more deadly because they're not connected directly to the neural system.
So, what grand epicness have I missed?
Me boarding the landcarrier, dude, so believe me, it wasn't as epic as it
Oh, yeah.
Exciting.
Basically, James, it turns out that the base we were on in the first part is actually basically an aircraft carrier, but on wheels.
I mean, I've seen Captain Scarlet and I've seen the first Avengers. Aircraft carriers are more cooler. Wherein, and Doctor Who even, aircraft carriers are cooler when they're on the air.
Well, okay, I'll admit though.
Also, yes, you do have throwing knives as a weapon.
I will.
Why?
Yeah, which is apparently more effective than the multiple rapid gunfire.
Also, Dubs, you mean to tell me that vehicles that were made to be in the air work better in the air?
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, aircraft carriers...
Surely you jest.
...the sea, so...
Okay. I guess to be fair though, Dwibs, when you think about it, we've seen loads of cases where aircraft carriers are in the sky, but we've never really seen a case where they drive on the ground, so...
Well, I was talking about real life.
Well, last I checked, in real life, we don't have helicarriers.
Don't you know, Joe, the American government is experimenting on...
It's
you see, Dweebs, that is classified information. Jova cannot tell us yet.
It's ironic. Remind me again, too. What year did this game come out?
Oh, 2008, I think.
2008. Oh, okay. Well, okay. Well, in that case, I guess it doesn't work because we still had Halo Reach in 2000.
Still, again, compared to the shooters of the time, it's still a no-no.
No, I'm aware of that too. It's just that this was supposed to be the Halo killer, but it wouldn't.
There you go, 2008.
But it wouldn't be too long after this game came out when the real murderers of Halo would actually slowly start murdering it. So.
Who? 343?
Well, actually, yeah, that's exactly who I meant. Actually, so yeah.
It's funny because it's true and it hurts.
Like a little creature would say. Well, I was trying to be subtle. But yes, that is who I meant.
Yeah, seriously though, I also do wonder if by some miracle Halo Infinite is going to salvage the franchise, or if this will finally be the final straw. Cause
it's I
don't know.
Okay, look. So hear me out. It won't be the final straw because Halo, even though it's not as big as it used to be, it's still a household name.
It's a household name, Deji, but it will not be a household name for long if this keeps up. Because I can tell you, Deji, because I know this, the Halo fan base, the hardcore Halo fans, the ones that have been playing this since the beginning and have invested in the lore and all that crap, they absolutely detest what 343 came up with in terms of expanding shit and how they really misunderstand the tone that the series is supposed to have and stuff like that.
Not only that. Okay, let me sum this up for you, Dej. It's definitely best shown by Ackman's entire series on Halo 5. Yes, there's an entire series of what went wrong with Halo 5, But let me sum it up like this for you. Terrible cross-marketing, prequels that you needed to literally read comics and books for.
Yeah, I know the main villain of Halo 4, he's not in the game because you have to read, he's in the novels and they expected people to read it, I'm aware.
Not just
well,
that.
No. I'm talking about Halo 5 in general. That had even more problems with it. And mind you, all those problems we can blame on 343.
Not to mention...
Sure, yeah, you can...
No, go finish your thought. No, finish your thought first.
I mean, sure, yeah, you could say that maybe Microsoft should have micromanaged things better, but to give Microsoft credit, they did give 343 the proper time that they could have used, at least from what I know regarding Halo 5. Like, Halo 5 was the...
Sorry.
Oh, God. Halo 5 was supposed to be the big magnum opus. Yeah, okay, let's go like this. It seemed like they were shaping up Halo 5 to be essentially Microsoft's own Final Fantasy VII, complete with its own sub-franchise and everything.
And the new protagonist, yeah.
It fell so flat on its face that it is truly amazing that Halo 5 did not kill it.
It doesn't even matter. It's not to mention Deji. Halo Infinite is going to be a games as a service on a la Destiny, which is
it's a 10-year plan.
And I can tell you, Deji, from talking to actual people in the community, that's the last thing Halo fans wanted. Literally the last thing, because Halo has Halo has literally always had a single player campaign with beginning, middle, and a multiplayer that allows you to, it's like Jova said, you play it for the campaign and you stay for the multiplayer, and now they're literally turning into Destiny. They're having all these outfits and dailies and all that stuff. It's literally the loss of the soul of the series at this point. Go ahead.
And keep in mind, though, Diz, the player basis of Halo 5 has gone down immensely. Like, if there's one way you can gauge how successful a game is these days, it's its player count. And Halo 5 has been having dangerously low numbers by Halo standards.
Oh, fuck.
It also shows from in terms of art style. I did have some basic guesses of my own before I was told about this, but if you take a look at how Master Chief looks in Halo Infinite, you'll notice that they've gone back to the boxy design he had in the classic Halo games. So even despite this game being not at all structured like a proper classic Halo game, I guess their way of quote unquote catering to the old fans is by bringing back classic Master Chief with his boxy design, even though no crap, like seriously, nobody actually cares if Chief is boxy in his armor. Like, they just wanted the series to actually be true to itself.
And now in the middle of this level you get an escort mission. You have to protect the hacker.
My favorite.
You have
Brilliant.
to protect the hacker while it's hacking the servers of the land carrier, while the Black Ops soldiers will try to swarm you.
Well, to be fair, the same director of this game also directed those also annoying escort missions in GoldenEye.
That starting.
Which one?
You're talking about the original. You're talking about the original, or
The 64 one, yeah.
I don't know. I figured like the people you had to put that in GoldenEye, it was mostly fine, because as long as you didn't stick around, picking your nose or something, and you just did things properly, I was able to get through that fine enough, to be honest.
Maybe David Doak just really... In fact, I wonder if... Apparently he's now a professor teaching video games. But if you still did game directing, I wonder if that would have been his big pet project. An entire game with an escort mission.
Oh, so like Never Dead.
I'm just
I've
glad...
never heard of that.
Well,
Dweebs, I mentioned this last year at this point, when we did the Konami E3 2012 conference. Don't worry, if I manage to find time, goodwill, and patience, I'll try to record it.
It's well, at least now we have the 360 version finally leaked, so there's that. And you can easily
and what a leak that was.
And you can easily play it on your computer thanks with the emulator Xenia. So I actually do have it right now. It works really well.
You know, it's quite an interesting thing. Do you think Microsoft were planning to maybe re-release it? Well,
No.
I guess technically officially release it as part of like, you know, a Game Pass initiative or something, and that's how the thing leaked?
The only way that game would ever be properly released, Jova, is if these three companies all get along perfectly. Nintendo, MGM, and Microsoft. These three companies
Is MGM even still a thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, remember, Jova. We actively engage IO Entertainment to make you know, a 007 video game.
Yep.
Although, to be fair, guys, Nintendo and Microsoft have been getting pretty buddy-buddy in these last 2 years.
Re-release
Maybe.
Banjo-Kazooie on Switch, you cowards. What?
It's not even just that. Like, honestly, I don't even think they even care at this point.
It's been over a decade.
I mean, yeah. The fact that it recently got leaked might actually, you know, give them at the very least. But at the same time, it would take quite a lot of negotiating just to get the game out the door.
Not
So-
to mention,
Yeah, I mean-
again,
It's like what Tio said. MGM are currently working with IO Interactive. at
yeah,
this point.
I get the idea. We want to instead market the new thing instead of just re-releasing, you know, focusing on re-releasing an old game.
Especially considering the fact that there hasn't been
Oh my God, the visuals.
there hasn't been a major console James Bond video game since 2012.
You have to remember, I have been speedrunning marathoning through this game. So basically, I was around the fifth and a half hour mark. You know, at this point, and the visuals were not helping. I was legitimately getting sick.
Ugh.
I mean, physically, nausea and all.
Interestingly enough, there was a Bond video game that released the same year this game did.
What?
Oh,
It was the video game based off Quantum of Solace.
Ugh.
was it?
Actually,
Okay,
from
was
what
the
I've
game
heard-
good?
From what I've heard, that game was actually not that bad.
Yeah, and
Oh,
then I think
nice.
GoldenEye came out the next year.
I actually
Well,
did.
GoldenEye came out 2 years later.
One game
Yeah.
one game I did like on the GameCube back in the day was the one that was made by Eurocom, Nightfire. That was a good one, I thought.
Alright,
There
we're
are
finalizing that.
there are actually quite a few Bond games released during the PS2 era.
Did you play
That's
Nightfire back in?
incredibly slowly.
Did you play Nightfire
No,
back in the day, Dwips?
I think my cousin had it.
I think,
haven't,
Babes, you mentioned that you played From Russia with Love.
Nightfire, but I have played From Russia with Love.
Yeah,
Basically,
exactly.
for those who don't know, From Russia with Love is the game where you get to play as Sean Connery's James Bond, and he even came back to do the voice work.
Cool.
That's
Bear
really
in mind
neat,
that game came out. Bear in mind that game came out in 2005, so we had a Connery who was around 70 years old, playing himself when he was 30.
Oops.
Lovely. How much of Love? Isn't that the second James Bond movie?
Yes, we did comment on each other.
Basically,
So-
around that point, Pierce Brosnan had officially left the Bond, so who are they going to get? They haven't had a Bond yet.
So get, of course, the original Bond
They
himself.
could have got the guy who
yeah,
impersonated him
yeah,
in
of course,
Celebrity Jeopardy.
Yeah, of course, Barry Nelson. Oh, you mean the actual official.
Let us never forget, fans. The first James Bond movie was technically Casino Royale.
The 1950s one where Bond was an American.
With Peter Lorre as the villain, seriously.
Yeah,
was
but
something
since
special.
that's not part of the film canon officially, yeah. And
So-
I highly doubt they'll do a James Bond multi.
My god, even the missile launcher turret section is not satisfying at all.
Why? How do you screw even that up?
Look at that, there's no energy, there's no impact, there's no epicness, this is
And
just...
they miss! They miss a
I
lot!
fire, and I missed, and I fired again, and I missed again.
Oh my god, you had him point blank and the missile just veered right off!
Nope.
Maybe they sabotaged the missile.
Now, fire.
Nope.
Yeah, no! And
Maybe
they
this
missed
time,
too!
Yeah, I was just gonna
Finally.
say. I was just gonna say, at the very least, their aim is just as impressive as ours.
Also, look at that. They trying to make this epic super epic by having everything flying around, blowing shit up, things dropping all over the place, but it's just not working.
Nope.
And guess what? Now you need to get to the control room, and kill your. I already forgot the name. Your old friend, the sergeant instructor, the guy who survived the attack.
I wonder what other games came out around the time this one came out.
2008, the Prince of Persia reboot.
No, I meant around this time. Oh, I just found out actually, guys.
What?
This game came out only 2 days. I mean, again, it's not really the same genre or anything, but it came out around a few days in between Wii Fit's launch in the US.
Always, like I said, same year also stuff like Sonic Unleashed.
Yeah, well, oh yeah, Mass Effect came out for just the Wii.
Yeah, Mass Effect was a better shooter than this technically.
Haze didn't really have much in the way of identical competition. It was his own suckiness that drove.
Yeah,
people.
I remember it was also delayed. Alright, backtracking now, we're gonna get a cutscene when we get in contact with the final boss. Yes, this is technically the final boss.
Where do you think you're taking this thing?
Duvall, there you go.
Animals were too chicken shit to take control of themselves. So now I'm the captain. And I can go
How did the chain of command broke?
We killed them? I don't know.
You killed my boys.
You're not on Nectar now. You don't have to be crazy anymore.
This script is such a delight.
Spoken with the nuance of a 2-year-old.
I forge a bond with my fellow soldiers.
This is basically like Kingsman: The Golden Circle before it even existed.
How about that? That sounds pretty crazy to me. I never did anything but try to protect you.
Did
Take
you?
one knock on the head, and suddenly the world's wrong.
I mean,
you're right.
I mean, he's not okay. To be
He's
fair,
not completely wrong, but it's just that, the context is not framed like he's in the right either.
It's majority rule.
like not only that, but we also had the revelation.
There's only 2 of us here now.
These best
Which one of us
defenses.
is normal?
No, you.
Okay, maybe
Oh my god, we thought it was so cool, that line.
Okay.
This script. This fucking... Also, this final boss is PC easy, as long as to be fair, it can hit you hard, but if you balance him, he's going down like in a couple of hits. Like, it's just that pathetic. This is not Metal Gear. Fuck you, game.
So here's the problem
Just die already.
So here's the problem with this plot. He does point out a plot hole about how, our protagonist easily changed. Here's the problem. We had that plot revelation where one of our old troop mates actually revealed that, yes, we are the bad guys, and even showed that this company dumps bodies in there.
Hold on, Jova, what are the last touching words of our ex-comrade and true villain of the game? This actor. Hold on.
Shane, please, don't tell my mom.
Don't tell mommy I wet the bed.
Seriously?
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
That's
Again, this is you see, Metal Gear got nothing on this, right?
That's the words you choose for the last words of your villain.
Imagine if Liquid Snake, while dying, he tells to Solid Snake, "Please, Snake, don't tell my mom."
Guys,
hold on, dudes. We're about to get actually the end of the game in the final speech from Merino.
it was about the last cutscene.
Hold on, don't worry, Waves. And it's gonna be about the evil shrug that I mentioned in a couple of previous parts.
To be fair, that's how I'd react if I was told something like that as well.
Not like what a weirdo.
This would be like,
okay.
This would be like if at the end of Endgame Thanos was all like, "Huh, I sure hope Death doesn't find out that I lost." Like,
you're still simp.
Well done, my friend. A hero is always welcome in my country.
I guess destroying that land carrier was the safest thing to do. Shame we couldn't use it ourselves.
True. But that machine wasn't the best resource Manetl had at their disposal.
Oh.
Come
What do
again.
you mean?
Positivity, optimism, powerful tools in making a country a better,
that's
happier place.
great. Seriously, that's.
Hold on.
Can put my people
Excuse
to
me.
frame of mind. It is not such a bad thing. Here it was
Did-
just,
Of course it was.
I would
Oh.
combine it with free
Oh,
will.
he's about to throw the curveball line.
You worry too much, my friend. A sword in the wrong hands is always dangerous.
Hold on, wait for
in
it.
the wrong hands, that's all. They were just
Ton, ton, ton. Just like Duvall said.
Also-
And by the way, that's how the game ends.
Yeah, tell me something you don't know.
There's no post-credit scene. Cut to credits.
Guys, I know this may be a bad point to mention it, but how did Manuel grow back his fingers? Seriously, in that last cutscene, he has all the fingers on the
No, he
hand.
still had the index finger, bandage. That's the one where that is the one where they cut.
I had to look back at that cutscene though. He had a full set of fingers.
Well, you can't draw because we only get the credits now. So, final thoughts, Lives.
Hang on this. It
Lives, go on.
sucks, the end.
Okay, you want to
I
elaborate.
mean, what else do you want me to say about it? I mean, it looks awful, even by 2008 standards. The music is bland. The gameplay is as basic as you could get. And also, for what I've seen, if you bangled even the most basic of stuff you could do. The story is laughably inept. But what else? What else is there? The game sucks. It's a shame that this was the game that killed the development studio, and it was clear that I wonder if Ubisoft had a bunch of writers they had on hand that weren't doing anything, so they just threw them at this game, just even without any without them having much in the way of experience, if any at all.
Possible.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Could be that. Could be maybe Free Radical just went insane. I don't know. But what I do know is that from what I've seen of this, it's just, the game just sucks.
Alright, Dej.
What the fuck? I'm sorry, what was that ending?
I know, right?
More like what wasn't that ending?
Dej, please, don't tell my mom.
But more like what wasn't that ending, because this game doesn't end, it just stops.
I know, right?
It's like... Oh my god.
Try and find the words, Dez. Try and find the words.
Okay.
I know that this game does not deserve a lot, but try and
this
find
game
them.
is certainly a product of its time. And not in the best way. It's trying so hard to copy all the modern trends, and it's like, it didn't work. It has no identity. Its writing is abysmal. This doesn't even look that appealing. It's just,
No.
wow, this seems to be Ubisoft's MO, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What a joke.
Pedro.
It looks like crap, it sounds like crap, the script reads like crap, and the gameplay looks pretty crappy.
Yeah.
Sorry. There was another point I wanted to bring up. If you finish that, is Pedro.
Yeah, I mean, like, this game is so completely devoid of any kind of identity, it's kind of even hard to describe it. Go ahead.
I don't know if it's just the script, but God, the acting in this game is horrible. I thought by 2008 we'd have moved on from people sounding like they were either recording it, but they were just reading lines off the script without any emotion.
Wait, Torrance, actually, I'm looking at
or we're just completely coked up on something.
I'm looking at the guy who plays the main character. His name is Marvel. He's done a lot of theater work.
Maybe he's just not good at voice work.
No,
or maybe he had terrible direction.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. He's only been in 3 video games, but for the most part, he's been in theater and television.
Dude, they shouldn't be too quick. They shouldn't be too quick to blame the actor. I mean, Marlon Brando in his prime could make this material sound compelling. Come on.
Also, once again, the reminder: the voice actor who played Merino, the official narrator of Kirby's Epic Yarn.
That is something special.
All right, so I guess Joe was next.
Jova.
Yeah.
Tio, don't tell Pedro. Ugh.
Okay.
That's more. That's a bit more like the way Willem Dafoe says it at the end of Spider-Man 1. Peter, don't tell Harry.
I mean, it's weird. When Willem Dafoe did it, it's meme-worthy, iconic, gripping.
Not just that line actually did make sense in context. That line doesn't make any fucking sense in context.
Like, okay, maybe I forgot, but what did any of this have to do with that guy's mother before? What?
Nothing. Really nothing.
Like, I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but were they actually trying to sequel bait us with something here? I mean, okay.
Yes, we did. Remember, Manetl is not directly dealt with, only their invasion in this country. Now Merino has the nectar, and it's implied he's gonna militarize, the people to go against.
I get that stuff.
The company.
It makes it sound like he's trying to get away from being reprimanded. Did you draw on the wall? No, Carpenter did it.
I mean, okay. Not only that, but seriously though, not just that. Were they trying to sequel bait something with the mother thing? Like, it feels like if Liquid Snake had hinted at, like, Snake's mom or something who shows up in Metal Gear Solid 3 and 4 or whatever. I mean, what is the point? What is the point of it? I really do want to know, like, because you can't have a scene that melodramatic, even though it was acted terribly, and not have it mean something. Otherwise, you're either just taking the piss or you really didn't know what the hell you were doing. Which, then again, considering how there were literally inexperienced Ubisoft producers helming this product, maybe that was the case, and they just threw everything at the wall.
Mm-hmm.
In other cases, this game sucks. Like, Jesus Christ, criminy. The lighting. The goddamn lighting makes the game such an eyesore. And that's when other stuff will make it an eyesore, like the blurry vision, the dizzying effects, the weird changes of color here and there, the scenes where it tries to be all trippy with the jump scares and everything. Ugh, God. To try and simulate hallucinations and all that. The acting is terrible. I'm going to chalk that up probably to terrible direction because this game feels like it was run by a headless chicken just running about trying to make heads or tails of anything. Sure, it has the basics down. You are in first person and you are certainly shooting.
Well,
it doesn't work half the time, but okay.
Well, I mean, it's more first person than Bomberman Act Zero was trying to do. That wasn't first person at all.
I mean, wasn't Bomberman Act Zero was kind of third person as well, here and there.
Well, that's the thing though. They called it first person in one of the modes, yet it wasn't.
Huh. But yeah, Haze, man, again, the Halo killer, everyone. Now, we pretty much have already stated about all of the behind-the-scenes developmental issues here, but it's just, once again, it's Ubisoft doing the usual Ubisoft thing here. Either being way too late to a trend here, or putting their own laughable spin on it, trying to be way too big for their britches, and of course it blowing up in their faces. thing is that unlike with Watch Dogs, Haze didn't get a sequel or two to the point where it could actually, be considered good. No. Haze was dead after this, and rightfully so. Unless there's some hidden sequel that I'm unaware of to you.
No. Obviously, this franchise is dead and forgotten for a very good reason.
And you know what? I have no tears to shed about it.
I can tell you this, that in every game, even if they have only one title, I still count them as franchises,
Yeah, and that's the thing. They were clearly planning this thing as a franchise and everything. So,
if we wanted to compete with Halo, we probably were, learning out, trying to make sequels.
So congrats, Ubisoft. Congrats, Ubisoft. You took a well-renowned developer like Free Radical Design and made them a mockery of themselves. And, well, of course, in typical fashion, the company would later soon go under. Thanks a lot, Ubisoft!
Oh, and in case you're wondering what happened to Free Radical Design, in 2009 it got bought by Crytek.
Yeah.
And then in 2014 it got sold to Koch Media, who then
got assimilated with THQ Nordic, which leads to what I mentioned, the fact
and had all their staff transferred to Deep Silver Dambuster Studios in Nottingham, who have made such classics as Homefront: The Revolution.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad. They're making a new game called Chorus. And, they assisted in it.
But like I already mentioned,
Dead Island 2, but so far nothing's been.
But like I mentioned, Joe, there's still the happy ending, quote unquote, because part of the original team actually went in contact with THQ Nordic, who now owns the full rights to the Time Splitters IP, in order to try to revitalize either probably like a collection of a previous title or a new one altogether. We'll see what the future pans for this.
But overall, this game is just a representation of something I really don't like. Big old game producers thinking that they know game design better than the actual developers in the trenches, and thus essentially cutting off their heads and then commandeering it with their own.
Jova, it's like a metaphor for the consumers or the soldiers in this game who are addicted of nectar and the
for a second I thought you were going to say Ubisoft. Thing you don't like.
But no, that's my final thoughts here. Crap game, crap development, and it got what it deserved.
Okay, let me conclude. As someone who actually had to literally experience this on his own skin, this is terrible. The gameplay is anything but stimulating or entertaining. You just really don't want to play. Even after 20 minutes that you're in, the mechanics, while potentially innovating, are not well developed and again contribute to the annoyance. And the plot is just already seen at best. Yes, war is bad, drugs are bad, corporations are using people like tools, higher ups are using soldiers like tools for pointless wars. No News 11, play Spec Ops The Line instead. It's much better in terms of deconstructing this narrative. This script is childish, the lines are stupid when not offensive, because again, this is a game made in its time, and it's a good thing this is forgotten for a good reason. Ubisoft doesn't even want to repropose it, like a remaster or something. No, this doesn't need anything, they just bury it. shoot the in the head and keep burying it in the trenches, as it deserves. So that's it. Not really in the immediate future, but stay tuned for I have actually recorded something else that instead also was published also by Ubisoft, but it's a much better product. Something done by Housemarque, the team who is currently doing, Returnal for Sony. Stay tuned for Outland. See ya.
See ya then.